Do you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
you're audible.
Okay. So let us start. So, like I have given you a problem. We discuss the solution of matrix. So, one problem I have given you that a1x plus a2y plus a3z is equal to say d1. So a1 is given 1, a2 is given minus 2, and a3 is given 3. Now what is x? X is x is last digit of your roll number plus 1. So that means suppose your roll number is 12, I mean last digit is 2 plus 1. So you can get a value of x equal to 3. Then y is the given value 2. Z equal to number of characters in your first name. Say Sarnendu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for you, Z becomes 9. So you know Z, you know Y, you know X. So you put that, so 1, A1 is X, so X into 3. So 3 minus 2 into Y, minus 4 plus 3 into Z, 9, 27 equal to 26. So now you can write your equation is x minus 2y plus 3z is 26. So like this you will first develop three equations because I have given okay. So after developing your three equation, you solve them by programming, and then check that you get back this value. This values you should get back. So that means first you develop the equation, three equation you develop, like a1, a2, a3 is given, next values are also given. Say b1, b2, b3 is 1, 1, 1. So 3 plus 2, 5 plus 9, 14. So x plus y plus z will be 14. And a1, a2, a3 for, is given 1, 2, 1. So x plus 2y plus z will again be some value. So these you calculate, form the equation and solve iteratively. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. And sir, we have
Yes,
to
sir. Yes, sir.
show you the output by using the screenshot, or we have to means add the code also.
No, write a computer program. If you look at the problem, you have to give the
Yeah.
computer program also, plus the
Okay. Okay.
solution also. And if you
Okay, sir.
do not have any computer, some people may not have a computer, then they must do it by hand. More credit if you do it by programming. But if you do not, some reason somebody may not have a computer, then you must. Hello.
Yes, sir.
আমি একটা ক্লাস করছি, আপনি কে বলছেন? আচ্ছা আদিত্য, আমি একটু পরে ফোন করছি, ঠিক আছে? So
Hello, sir. I think means all of our students have a laptop or a computer along with them.
like somebody called me from who is in I think I forgot the name. Last day he did not give assignment in Amethi, so I don't know his situation. He is telling he is in a village. But anyway, if you
Oh,
know,
yes, sir. Devesh. Yes, sir. Devesh
uh-huh.
has a laptop, but he is living in Amethi and he cannot because he has a very poor network means connection.
Okay, but so then it is
He,
okay, because see, if you do not give a computer screenshot, then the marks is less, of course, because because see how you will do that. That is really a concern. But if I have to evaluate, I have to evaluate it just like a seasonal. So you should be able to show something, but as a consideration, I can allow anyway. So this is, you form the equation, you solve it. Okay.
okay.
So okay, by
So to
the
solve using Jacobi's method.
by Jacobi method.
Okay, sir.
The second problem I have given today, I mean that is in number one as it is written. That type of problem we'll discuss a little bit later. Today only we'll discuss. They are initial value problems, so just wait for some time. Before we solve the, I mean, stop this, we have to know also another thing, Gauss-Seidel iteration. So you have done Jacobi iteration, but there is also something called Gauss-Seidel iteration. So these are very important, particularly if you are going to use numerical analysis, computer aided engineering analysis, CFD, FEM. You need to have the idea of this numerical solution methods. So let us think Gauss-Seidel iteration. What we did is very A1 x1, A2 x2, A3 x3 is equal to P1. So we told that x1 will be like P1 minus A2 x2 minus x3 by A1. Similarly, x2, if you look the A2, you
Sir,
know
it
how to
will
do this. This is not A2. A1, then 1, 2, 3. This requires different name. So A1, A2, okay.
so
A1.
there will be A3X3 na?
P1 minus A3x3, right. Similarly, if you have this coefficient A1 prime, A2 prime x2, A3 prime x3 is equal to B2. Now next step you solve for x2. So this will be B2 minus A1 prime x1 prime, not x1 prime, x1 is the solution, minus, or you can say xyz. Instead of x, variables are x1, x2, x3, or you can say xyz, whatever is the, minus A1, A3, x3 by A2 prime. Yes. So that means you actually explain an expression for x1, x2, x3. Now when you solve, what you do? First you take a guess. Say x1 0, x2 0, x3 0. Now you put the guess value here. For example, if you take 1, 1, 1, so this is 1, this is 1. So everywhere you put this zero value, level value, initial value. So that is Jacobi iteration. But in Gauss-Seidel iteration, what happens? What you have learned? Just let me see.
So I think someone is trying to join.
Yes, just have to respond. So what you did, you have some initial value, you put the initial value. So level 0 value, you have level 0. So when you iterate, what you do? From start 0 level, 1 level, second level, your value changes. So from first level, you go to, I mean, 0th level, first level, second level. 0th level is initial value. Then second level value you get, like you get the first level value, you put 0. So this is, if you put the 0th value for obtaining all first level value, then it is called Jacobi iteration. But see, something is happening. When you solve x1, you have first from x1 0, you have solved a new x1. Now when you go to x2, don't put, you already have solved for x1, means new value. So don't put the old value here, put the new value. but p's you don't know. So here it will be the old value. So then you obtain x2. Now when you go to x3 level, you already know x2 new and x1 new. So put x1 new value here, x2 new value here. So don't use the initial value for all variable. Just as you obtain a new value, you replace them in the subsequent level. That is known as Gauss-Seidel iteration. Let me give an example. Is say x plus y plus z is 3, x minus 1 plus z is 1, and x 2x plus y plus z is 6. Okay, so x is how much? 3 minus y minus z. So let's say start from guess value x0 0. All I start from is 0 value. Sorry, y0 is 0, z0 is 0. I assume all values initially 0. Actually, what is the solution? You see, the solution is 1. 1 plus 1 plus 2, 3. 1 plus 1 minus 1, 1. 2 plus 1 plus 1, 4. So this should be 4. Okay. So x is 3 minus y minus z. So what is the x value now? X is becoming, if I put 0, 0, 3. So x becomes 3. Now what is the equation for y? Y is 1 minus z minus x. Now which z value you know that is 0. But in Jacobi iteration, you put
So y will be 1 z plus x minus
sorry.
1.
This is will be reverse, right? Right. Anyway, this x plus x y is x plus z minus 1. Sorry. Okay. So now you see that I start with a 0, 0, 0 value. So x becomes 3 minus 0 minus 0 is 3. Now y is minus 1 plus z plus x. So what value of x you will put? In Jacobi iteration, you could take x0. But Gauss-Seidel iteration, you will take the value newly, freshly obtained. So I can do both way. This is the Jacobi way, and this is the Gauss-Seidel way. So equation is same, but so Gauss-Seidel means I have a fresh value of x 3. So 3 minus 1 is 2, and z is 0. So y becomes 2. But Jacobi iteration, where I use all old values, 0, 0, minus 1. So this is y is minus 1. Now z. So this is the difference. When you are using Jacobi iteration, you take all initial value and previous level value when you put in the equation. But in Gauss-Seidel iteration, you take the current value. If you obtain a new value, you put that value here. Minus 1 plus 2. Plus 2. So x is 3. So minus 1 plus 2, 1. Oh, 3. Then this becomes 4. Is it okay? So this becomes 4. Because x is I have already obtained 3. So 3 minus 1, 2 plus 2, 4. Now z is how much? 4 minus 2x minus y. So in Gauss-Seidel iteration, you have already get x. So 3 into 3 minus 6. And y is minus 4, minus 10. 4. So this becomes minus 6. But in
by
Sir,
Oh,
this was
I-
Z, sir.
huh?
Sir, I think this was Z. This was not 2, sir.
4 minus y minus 2x. 4 minus y minus 2x. So x is 3. 4 minus 6 is minus 2 and minus 4. So this becomes minus 6. Okay.
Sir, अगर y equals to the equation
So
dot
y
minus. So it was sir
y-
Z, sir. It was not 2, sir.
Now y equation is coming from this 1 minus x. See this y is going to this side. So 1.
sir, actually
So y will be plus 2, I guess.
yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
because
yes.
you have taken instead of z, you have taken 2 actually
Yes,
in
yes.
y.
No, no.
Yes, sir. That is.
Y is how much? Y goes to
Sir,
the other side. So
minus
x
Sir,
plus z
minus
in
minus.
the-
1 plus 3, that is 2, sir.
This is 3, na?
Yes, sir,
Yes, sir,
but
I think-
The Z is the
Oh,
zero.
because
Sir, Z is
also,
0.
yes,
The
zero.
initial value is,
So, yeah, 2. Right.
yes, sir. -4.
Minus. But in the Jacobi method, which is the old method, you have 4 minus 2x minus y. So, now 4 minus 2x minus y. So now because x is 0, y is 0. Because in Jacobi, we don't, when we are calculating a loop, we get only the past value. So 0, 0, 0. So 0, 0, so z becomes 4. This is the difference. Now if you go to the next level, again x, y, what is will be the difference? So this is the Gauss-Seidel and this is the Jacobi. So when you go to x, 3 minus y minus z. So Jacobi y is minus 1. So 3 minus 1 is 4 minus z 4. So x becomes 0. Is it okay? Then y becomes minus 1 plus z plus x. So z value is, earlier iteration z was 4, x is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 minus 1 5. So Jacobi this becomes 5. But the y here, when you go to this, you already have got a new x. So which is 3 and already you have got a z. So this z is minus 4. So 3 minus 4 is 1, y is becomes 0. So this becomes 0. This way, this is the difference between Gauss-Seidel and Jacobi iteration. So this will be a fast method. Gauss-Seidel iteration is a faster method. So for your assignment, you use both. The matrix solution, you have to do it by both Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel iteration. Okay. What is the change? Only means, yeah. See this, I can write like the basic difference is, say x new is equal to a plus b y old plus c z old. This is always the y. So this will be always old for Jacobi, and y new also will be y new will be a plus b x old plus b1 x old c1 c1 z old. Because in any case x is a, I have the equation ax by cz equal to t. So in any case plus something plus something. Okay. Oh sorry, this plus is a. So plus is not required. A1 A2 like this. So you see that x is some number yz, some number plus some number into y plus some number into z. Y is some number plus some combination of x, some combination of z. So when you calculate the new value, if you take the all previous value, then that is Jacobi iteration. But if you x new is equal to a1 plus b y current, whichever values you have last obtained, that if you use current, then this becomes Gauss-Seidel iteration. So this is faster, this is slower. So but this is simple to program because it just can write easily, but here any new value will replace the old value. In a net you will get lot of resource in a numerical analysis book also. So it should not be a problem to solve first solving. So what are any question?
So Gauss-Seidel converges fast.
Gauss-Seidel is fast because you are always current value you have available. So you are injecting that, so it is accelerating. So there are proof for that and all this thing, but this sort of mathematics is beyond the scope of this. We'll go into little of numerical error when we talk of differential equations. So there are this error analysis and this convergence analysis that shows that Gauss-Seidel is faster because any new value you get. So actually, if you do a numerical heat transfer, you will see that they are very much used. Actually, if I get time, I'll show you how this is used for solving, say, conduction equation. But for that, you have to know also finite difference equation. As I told you that, for example, say weather system. Well, weather system means any problem that is divided into small elements, then locally solved. So if you are talking of weather, that means we are solving say 1 kilometer apart local velocity variable, pressure variable, temperature variable. So you can imagine how many number of equations are there, and they need faster solution, and lot of matrix applications are there, and these are only the starting point. So
Sir, in Gauss-Seidel method,
Yes.
sir, one thing is that when we are, suppose we are in the current value of x is means x7 or y7 and z7, we are like that. So so when we are having the x7th value, that will be less accurate than the z7th value.
the
But in
accuracy of
Jacobian, the accuracy of x7 and z7 will be same. Because in Z7 we are using the X current value and the Y current value, but in Z X7th value we are using the
YZ
Z.
and Z old value. In
Yes,
any
sir.
case, but anyway, numerical method there is difference, but ultimately they will converge. So you'll say there is some difference suppose this your actual solution is say A, and you are getting B iteratively. So first level B0, then you are getting B. So what happens? A minus B will eventually tends to 0, or will in theoretically it will reach 0. So ultimately, initially that will be true, but finally there will be not really difference. So then it will converge. You will see after certain run that no more change is occurring. With old and new, the same thing is happening.
স্যার প্রোগ্রামটা যখন লিখবো তখন কি প্রত্যেকটা ভ্যালু শো করতে হবে নাকি একেবারে ফাইনাল ভ্যালুটা?
ফাইনালটা করলেই হবে।
ওকে স্যার।
So then, like in a real, if you are writing a program, then something you have to tell. Like either you say means number of iterations. So number of iterations, you can say maybe how many number of iterations you should have a count, that how many times you are going, and also some criteria. So like you stop like x new minus x old is say less than 0.0001, something like this. Because as I told you that you cannot, hitting exact 0 is problematic. So given to compare the change, you see that the change is very less. So you have to have a construct like where the change of all variables, like 3 equation. So change in x, change in y, change in z, all are satisfying this criteria, not only one. Suppose x has converged but y and z has not converged. Okay. So that is not the proper situation. So once x, change in x, change in y, change in z, all should satisfy that they are say very less, 0.001, something like criteria you give. The criteria is also very important. Like sometimes you give a relative criteria, like delta x by x. That means something is very large. Then say some values is say you are calculating say velocity of light. So 10 to the power 9 of this order. So a small change like 0.001 will be very less. So you can think in terms of percentage of actual value. So relative error delta x by x. But here you take directly say 0.001 kind of thing. So now we go to the next topic, initial value problem. This is very simple. Means the basic thing only we learn. Say we have an equation. Say dy dx equal to 5. So you know that y equal to 5x plus c. So this is y, this is x. So the actual solution depends on what is the value of y0 at x equal to x0. So let's say this is 2. So I can say x equal to 0, y is x. Is the slope, the value at x equal to 0, so that is initial value problem. This is very simple, to idea, particularly for transient problem. Say you have a plate, you have a rod at 200 degrees Celsius, so at time t is equal to 0, then you want to know what is happening with time t equal to t. What is the, how it is evolving in time. So again, it is an initial value problem from for a heat transfer perspective. So initial value you know at x equal to 0 or time t equal to 0, and you know the slope. You know the slope. Then you have to build this equation. So I first give you a very crude or preliminary idea that how you actually say very simple thing. Suppose y equal to 5x plus 2. How can you plot this? Okay, say, and the condition is y0, y at x equal to 0 is 2. So as you know, you can plot the graph y, x and y. So x is 0, y is 2. Now you have to think of an interval. Means what next x? What is the next value of y? So this interval h, say h equal to 1. Interval h, the value will be 7. Then when I have gone to the x equal to 2, so another h equal to 1 and then 2, this value is 12. So 2, 7, 12. You have a linear this thing. So this is linear, and it is not a problem. This interval is not an issue. No, not an issue for a linear problem. For a linear problem, you can just take 3 points and draw a straight line. But if say y equal to x square plus 2, if you take arbitrary point, the line will not be a very proper, proper fit. For example, x square for 2, so x equal to 0, it is set 2, x equal to set. Now you may have this point and this point. So if you join them, it is not a proper parabola. But if you calculate a small h, so 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, then you join the segments, it will look much better match, because here it is not a linear. So for linear, this interval does not matter. But if it is a nonlinear, if you want to plot or a complex function, then you calculate here, you know the value. This is the initial value. Now what interval you calculate the new value, these intervals should be small. This h should be small. So let me erase this page. What is that erasing? Say for example, again I am telling this, that why this interval should be small. Say let's say equation of y equal to x square. You can start from 0. 0, it's in 1 is 1. And suppose if I don't calculate 2, this is 1, 2, 3. So at 3 it is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9. If I get this 3 point, it looks somewhat like this and like this. But if I calculate intermediate point, this will be 4, this will be like this will be like this, and see if you join them, it looks a better. So this interval matters when it is not a linear thing, because actually the gradient is continuously changing. In a linear problem, y equal to 5. Sorry, let us not. Anyway, so you calculate the value. What is the growth of y with the change in? So initial value problem means y at 0 is known. y at small gap h you proceed, h, h1, h2. So y at h plus h to h, y at 3h, you go on calculating. So you know the first value, this value you calculate, this value you calculate, and then you join them. So that is a sort of numerical solution. So sometimes analytical solution you cannot get, but numerical solution you can calculate. But and if you don't take small gap, there will be error. Why this is this error? That let me clarify. Say, you know, Taylor series. This is also, so this is the y at x. So you know that y at x and x plus h, this gap is h. So what is the value of y x plus h? Is equal to y at x plus del y del x into delta x plus second derivative into delta x square by 2 plus third derivative into delta x cube by 3. So this go on infinite series. This is Taylor's formula. So you know that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you see, if it is a linear problem, these term all vanish. So what is the value of, if I know the value of y at x, the value at a gap x plus h will be del y del x delta x. I mean, this will be h. This delta x is nothing but h. So if it is a linear problem, these vanishes. So you can write, what is del y del x? Del y del x is how much? This minus this y n plus h, sorry, not n, x, y x by delta x, that is h, plus, see, this is order of, you see, these start from delta x square by 2. So if I divide by delta x, this will start with delta x. So I can write order of delta x. So this is called, that means, so this is quite intuitive. How do you calculate the slope here? What is del y del x? This value minus this value by delta x. But that is true only for a linear problem. For non-linear problem, you have these extra term, this. So you see that this part is the error. These, when you approximate, if you carve like this, if you calculate the slope, this minus this by this minus this by this, that is del y del x. So if the gap is more, the error is proportional. I mean, you see that these term are also there, but we are neglecting if I say this minus this by this. So the error start from the first order delta x, because here is a delta x square. So if you divide by this delta x, this become order of delta x. So if delta x is small, this tends to error tends to 0. So therefore you need to have spacing close spacing, not very large spacing. So no, how large is large? That is little qualitative, but that comes with experience. But for example, you see, if, like a curve is like this, can you calculate slope by these 2 points? You see, if you calculate these 2 points, the slope is wrong. So you have to take 2 nearby points, then that is giving you slope, the actual slope. So that means nearer this delta x is smaller, the del y del x is accurate. So that means you need closer spacing. And this is how the error is analyzed. That you are neglecting from, you see, this minus this by delta x, that is del y del x. And here then not automatically delta x. So error start from the first order term. So this is called first order accuracy. So this you have to keep in mind, that this, therefore we need close spacing. How close? You can do it by numerical experiment. So I am telling again, say this is this is, let's say this is the nth value. Okay, so this is the, I go on creating segment x equal to 0, x equal to h, x equal to 2h, like this small gap I calculate the value. So at, suppose this is the nth point, so and this is the n plus 1 point, so x is n times h. Okay, so yn is yn plus 1 will be y at n plus h times, so let me write it in terms of dt. Like say this is y, initial value problem, so let me say instead of x, let me say t. I am now changing to t. Why? Because you have to have the idea that it can be x, it can be t, but t equal to 0 I know what is y0, or x equal to 0 I know what is x0. So y at n plus 1, but this is very intuitive. You see, this is nothing great. You know this value, this nth level value you know. So nth plus 1th level value will be the slope del y dt multiplied by this. So you know that dy dx, how much this is the dy dx, multiply by dx, that is equal to h, you get the new value. So but here this, so now the equation will give you, we have a equation, let's say you have a equation that which gives the slope dy dt equal to function of y plus t. So what is the equation we are solving? Solve with y at equal to 0 is known, y0. Then you can solve like this. You know that this function, you know this function, you know, calculate, you know the y at y0, so this point you know. Then you go in small step. So that is really very simple. I again give you an example. What is the clear frame? Okay. Say, so this method we are discussing is known as Euler's method. So we are solving, let's say dy dt is equal to 3x square. So 3t square, x square, this is because in t square. Okay, solve with y at t equal to 0 is 1. So that the solution is, as I said, dy dt is y n plus 1 is equal to y, what is n, plus these dy dt into the gap interval you are taking. So, but as I says that this is order of 1, first order accurate. So, is it clear what I am telling?
Yes, sir.
So, these you can have an analytical solution. What is the analytical solution? Y is equal to 3 t cube by 3. So, t cube plus c. This is the analytical solution. So, here you can get an analytical solution. But in the numerical analysis, you solve numerically. That means you get a point, discrete point where you get the value. So, let's say y equal to 0. You know that, sorry, t equal to.
Sir, what is meant by first order accurate? Could you explain?
First order accuracy, as I said, here, this Taylor series. So these I am neglecting. So what is here? Power to the power 2. So now you have this del y del x multiplied by delta x. So if you want to get del y del x, you divide by delta x. So that is why you get y this minus this by delta x. But here also divide by delta x, which we are not writing. So delta x square, when you divide by delta x, you get delta x to the power 1. Here it becomes delta x to the power 2. So this term, this extra term which we are not taking, starts from delta x to the power 1. So that is why it is called first order accurate. If the error starts from delta x square, then it will be called second order accurate. Okay.
Okay, sir.
The extra term. Now what happens if this is a linear equation, then this term del square by del x square, they vanish. You know, if there is a line like this, if you have a line, straight line, dy dx has a value, but second derivative is 0 because dy dx is same everywhere. So these terms do not become significant. So there is no error. So that is why, as I told you, that if it is mx plus c kind, you can get any interval and just plot. But if it is a nonlinear, these say it can be like this, it can be like this, it can be like this. So you have to get more closer point and plot it. But if it is linear, it can be far enough, anywhere. Now, yes. So what you are doing, you have to plot y and t. So so you know that new y is the next value. So you create a table that what is the t, what is the y. So t equal to 0, y is 1. Now you take a gap. H is 0.2. Let's say h is 0.2. So now what is the value? You put the value of 0.2 here. So divide. So then yn plus 1 is equal to yn means 0. What is the 1? 1 plus del y del t, dy dt is 3t square. So 3 into 0.2 square. So now you have know the value. You calculate the value. Then you go to the next point, 0.4. So this way, this actual solution may be like this. You will get a discrete point like this. Is it clear? So that means
0.2 cube.
0 point is given, and at each gap you calculate the value from the slope, because dy dt, you know, new value is slope multiplied by the distance, local distance.
So the distance is 0.2 and the slope is dy by dt 3t square. That is 3 into
so everywhere
0.2
you have to
whole.
evaluate this value. So when you are at 0.2, here it will be 3 into 0.2 square. When you are 0.4, this will be the last level value. So this way you go on building this. Okay.
So I am saying that the equation where you wrote yn plus 1 value in there, it will be 1 plus 3 into 0.2 cube.
If you 0.3 cube, but this solution you are not taking. You are calculating from this. This is the analytical solution. You are not using this solution. This is the analytical solution. When you do numeric analysis, if you in place of analytical solution, then you can compare with this. You don't take this. You have to use this information only. Okay. Like say, like the problem I have given you. Say the problem that has been given to you is dy dt is minus 10y. At y0 is 1. That means this is the value 1 at t equal to 0. Then t equal to 0, y equal to 1. T equal to 0.1, how much will be y? This y0 plus this slope. So this slope is, because basically you are calculating the slope at y equal to y0. So this will become 0 plus 0 into this delta h. So that is say 0.1. So this becomes point again 0.1. T equal to 0, 1, y becomes 0.1. Then t equal to 0.2, you take the old value. It's like this point. Sorry, this is the first point. Next point, you are here. You use this slope here and calculate this point. Next you are here, you calculate this point. Next you are here, you calculate this point. So this actually you have to take. So I have given you. You will do it through programming. So you will take different interval, 0.05, 0.1, and 0.2. And the actual solution also you can plot, because actual solution you can say dy by minus 10y, so it will be exponential solution. So that you can plot by directly. But if one solution may look like this, one solution may slightly change like this, another solution may be like this. So you'll see that closer the value of h, the smaller the value of each, closer it to the actual solution. Okay.
So how many decimals for h?
You take actually 4 decimals you can use, and the level you have to plot from 0 to 3. So this 0 to 3. So up to 3 you have to plot. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I am repeating again, like what is the principle of Euler's method? You are generating from 0 point, you are marching. So if you are here, say nth level, so you know this is the nth level value, nth. So y at n plus 1, this value up to, suppose this value you have calculated, yn. So you will get the new value, that yn plus dy dt multiplied by delta t. So this delta t, what I am calling, this is very intuitive. So this delta t, which we are calling as h. So the interval, for example 0 to 3 second, if you go by 0.1 interval, you will require 30 calculations. If you take 0.05 interval, you will require 60 number of interval. So interval value, because this is the zone from 0 to 3 you are resolving. If you do it in 0.1 second, so for 1 second 10 point will be there, 3 second there will be 3 points, and like that. So any value, any new value is old value, previous value, the slope multiplied by the gap. So this is first order error, accuracy. You can say the error is of the first order, or you can also say this is first order accurate. So this is called Euler's method, and this is called implicit. So why we call this, this is explicit scheme, because you see that there can be a situation. So here I give you a concept. Just a minute. Plug it. So this value I know that at n into h, 2h, 3h, like that. So at t equal to nh, y value is yn. So this value I know, but it will be this value, and the given condition is dy dt is given. So first of all, what is the equation? That dy dt is a given. So this problem we are solving for a equation of the form dy dt is a function of y and t, or dy dx as a function of y and x. Okay. So for this class of problem, we are solving only. There are more complex problem. So the first thing is the slope is given by some equation. For example, dy dx is cos x, or dy dx is cos x plus sin y. So dy dx or dy dt, anyway, whatever. So dy dt I know. Now what will be the y is yn. So I know yn. What is yn plus 1? So I used to get yn plus 1 minus yn by the gap h is the dy dx. So this by this. This is with this way we are proceeding. So yn plus 1 is equal to.
Sir, for function of two variables, it will be the partial derivative, na?
Yes. But now we are taking only, this is t, sorry, dy dt, sorry. This we are taking t. So yn will be dy dt times h plus yn. So this value I know. What is the slope here? I know. This value I know. This value I know. Okay. But this slope I have taken here. I can also the slope at here also, because between these 2 points, slope can be defined. Say y is a slope is a function of the y. So this slope here can be function of this y. But I am calculating this point. I can tell that this slope I will not evaluate at this point. This slope I will evaluate in a different point, the next point. Then this becomes unknown, because you really don't know what is the value of y here. So this becomes also unknown. This becomes also unknown. Then it becomes what is called a implicit scheme. Means it is more complex. So, but the way we have done, as we are proceeding, we are evaluating the local slope and then going to the next point. But if you take an equation where it is a combination of, or you take the slope of the next point, then it becomes a complicated equation. Then it's a implicit. Implicits are difficult to solve, and what we are doing is known as explicit. Means this is a clear cut. I know y at some point. I know the slope at that point. I know the gap. I calculate the next y. So that is simple thing and known as explicit. If I evaluate this at only the known location, but I can as well evaluate it in the next location. Then it becomes related to yn plus 1. Then you have to solve it again in further iteration, not the simple way. Anyway, we will not go into explicit, but it will be more clear when you learn finite difference. Okay, but this is called Euler's method. So what you have learned is Euler's method. So again, I am repeating that we have learned Euler's method, where dy dt is a function of y by t with y at t equal to 0 is y0. That means given. So this is known as initial value problem. So I have given you a value of dy dt and you have to plot. For example, say I am taking this gap, I may get a solution like this. I take smaller gap, the solution may look like this, and still smaller, and let's say this is the analytical solution. So you see, smaller the gap, this will be closer to the actual analytical solutions. So next is another method for the same class.
Sir, in the code, we have to show for various value of h or any single value of h.
Yes.
So then we will code this Euler's method. Then we have to do it for a single value of h, or we have to do it for multiple value of h, like h.
Can you write? This sound is coming not coming properly. Can you write?
Yes, sir. I'm saying.
Where is that?
The right side bottom.
Putting the algorithm we have to take multiple. Uh, Actually, what I have already clearly written that three different level of each. Have you seen the assignment? Look there, it is clearly written that you do it for h equal to 0.05, 0.1, 0.0, 0.25. So three levels and analytical solution. So
Okay,
four
sir, okay.
parts in one box. One analytical and three for different age. Then only you can compare. Okay. Now we go to, yes, please. So now we go to another method. So these are approximation methods basically. So see, this is the function. So I know this value. I have a so I know a value, say this value. Next level value I am predicting by this slope here. So in Euler method we are writing that y, the next level is the y at current level plus the gap. This gap is h. This is yn. This is the next level. H into f yt. Now f is dy dx is equal to f. This is the dy dx. Remember, this function is dy dx. My equation is dy dx is a function of y and t. So now as I told you that I am evaluating the slope here. For example, say y dy dx is say 3x square. Then at x equal to 10, I am evaluating this 3 into 10 square like this. But you see, this is between 2 points, this point and this point. I can evaluate the slope here. I can evaluate the slope here as well. So there are better method. This is first order accurate. Now second order accurate is known as Rangakutta 2. Rangakutta second order. RK2. When you write, see, you are evaluating here y at n, I mean at tn. So you want to find yn plus 1. So our goal is to find what is the next level value. What is this value? So this value depends on this value, but how? In Euler's method, just the gap and multiplied by the slope evaluated here. Now Rangakutta second method say that you evaluate at as h, f at y, yn, tn. That means you evaluate here a value k. You see, this is this part. So evaluating this part. The problem is evaluating this part. The slope into the gap. So the gap is same, but the slope can be find out from this point or from this point also. So first you calculate this k1 value. Then you calculate k2 value like h, yn plus k1 and tn plus h. That means this point you have evaluated. Now you go to this point because like a new y, you take a new value of y. This k1 is nothing but sort of y value. Now evaluate this function again with a k2 value. Then you write yn plus 1 is yn plus k1 plus k2 by 2. So earlier this was yn into h into f y2, but now I am evaluating hf y and tn once, and then h as a new y and new tn, and then I am taking the average of this. It is like you calculate here, take an average of them, then you find this the fresh new point. So this is called Runge-Kutta second order. I think I have sent you by mail, and it will take some time to understand. I mean, you write 3-4 times, then only the matter will be clear. Just by shouting, it's difficult to clear this. But again, I am telling you that what is this. But I have not given any assignment. I have given you only an assignment for Ayala's method. But what is Runge-Kutta 2 is telling? This, from this nth value, I want to find the new value, n plus 1 value. So original Euler is telling that yn plus n is just yn plus the slope. This is nothing but the dy dx. Dy dx is the f at y and t, and then the h, the gap. So this is the Euler. But Runge-Kutta is telling, you see this fyt plot, these y and this t, you change this. So first, just f, y, n and tn, like where you are, multiplied by h. This is your the first. So here you evaluate this part once, but you evaluate again. But now, instead of this y, you take yn plus k1 by 2. That means as if you have come to the middle of here, and then tn, yn plus k, not middle of here, as if you are evaluating here, and then tn plus h, then you get a new slope. So you are evaluating here, then you average half of k1 plus k2. So this will be the yn plus 1. Yn plus half k1 plus k2. So k1, k2 is like this, but these y and t, this function, they are changing. I'll send you an example. I'll just copy and send you from some book. Okay, but this is the second order Runge-Kutta, and I'll stop to it. So this is second order accurate. So more accuracy. For example, with same interval, suppose the actual solution is like this. Say first order will, for a given value, this is first order. The second order will be better. You will see that they will give a better match. For us, if you same value of h, if you plot, second order will give you better match. So another very important, I will not give any assignment now, but this is very important if you want to in research domain. This is very often used. Runge-Kutta fourth order, RK4. So again, it is a complex. Like see, Euler method, it what? Y, next y is current y plus the slope. That is slope is fxy, f, y and t. So the given is f is given as a function of y and t, and that is dy dt. This is the given part. So I know the gradient as an equation, like I have given dy dt is equal to 5y square. So this f part is known. This f is known as a function, but you are calculating yn here for a particular x or t, and then you are calculating the next level value. Now RK4 calculates in 4 levels. There is a k1. So k is nothing but this. If you go to the previous page, you see h, this part is k. The slope multiplied by the gap. So k1 is given by h, f of current location. So yn, tn. Now k2 is given by h. Now instead of yn, this is also y, because it has the dimension of y. So instead of yn, you now write yn plus k1 by 2 tn plus h by 2. Then k3 is h yn plus k2 by 2 tn plus h by 2, and k4 is h yn plus k3 by 2 tn plus h. These are all h. So that means from this point to this point, this part we are defining.
Sir, K4, in K4 it will be Tn plus H or Tn plus H by 2.
Tn plus h and yn plus k3. Sorry, this will be yn plus k3, not k2 by 2. Tn plus h, this is h by 2. In the right up also you can see. So, but that is not the final. The final yn plus will be, these you have to first evaluate. So slowly you go through these, you write 2, 3, 4 times, then only you will absorb the material.
Sir, in which areas is RK4 used? In like CFD or heat transfer?
In numerical analysis, so it is applicable to any system where there is initial value is known, and from the slope you want to, slope as a function you want to calculate the final value. So just you give a search in net. For example, I will also try to send you a copy, Xerox copy of books, some page, some given problem. But there are a lot of material as I can see. You just search as Rungakarta 4, you will solve problem, you will immediately see.
Okay,
So
sir.
now, but K1, K2, K3, K4, this part is like K. You can think this is like K. So 4 way I am evaluating. Like this, between these 2 points, I can calculate the slope here, calculate the slope here. But this is like calculating here, then you calculate at half somewhere here, and then but you see that actually is how much h times a function, but here so many h, 1h, 2h, 3h, 4h. So finally you will say yn plus 1 will by the y previous plus 1/6 of k1 plus 2k2 plus 2k3 plus k4. Then it has a dimension of h fyt. You see fyt, 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 fyt. You see h, here is h, here is 2h, here is 2h, here is h. So h plus 2h, 3h plus 2h, 5h plus h, 6h. So I have taken 6 times h. So I divide by 1/6. But then I calculate the change in y. So I add them. This is like weighted average. Okay. So the weight of K1 is 1/6. You know what is weighted average? Do you know? So weighted average. Suppose I take class test of 100 and final is of also 100, but marks is also in 100. So then I can give a weight. Say class test is 30%, final is 70%. So then if it's a class test someone score 20 and final someone score 70, so 0.3 into 20 plus 0.7 into 70. So these are the weight. Weight of class test is 30, weight of final is 100. So I evaluate all for 100, but by weight I am adjusting. So here these are the weight. Weight of class test is 30, weight of this is 0.7. Otherwise also I can take 30 marks for class test and 70. Then I do not need this weight. Then I just straight add. Out of 30 someone scores 10 and 70 someone score say 65. Total is 75. But if I take 100, 20 and 170, then to get in 100 I have to give the weight to go to this formula. So these are the weight 0.3, 0.7. Similarly, this is weight. That I am calculating this slope into this f at different location. But 1/6 weight to this, 2/6 weight to this, 2/6 to this, 1/6 to this. So 1 plus 2, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6 by 6. So finally I get 1. So these two formula are dimensionally similar, but this is fourth order accurate. This is first order accurate. So to get very good result, very accurate result, you have to use third order Rangakutta, fourth order Rangakutta method. Okay.
So why K2 and K3 are given higher preference in weighted average?
So that comes from error analysis. So this cannot be directly, intuitively you cannot tell. Like this and this, you have a slope here like this, you have a slope here you like this, and you give some weight. But if it is changing, so one location is like this, one location is like this, and in intermediate you have this thing. So this is telling that this intermediate, this is one weight, this is one weight. Intermediate, the way we are evaluating is 2. So there is not a direct physical explanation. I have searched and how to explain this physically. Like this thing, you can physically think of a slope and this thing. But here, this is a way of evaluation. And if you put numerically, you can see that error analysis is done. It gives you this. So there can be different weight, and you can calculate also. There is a third order method also that is not very popular. That will have third order accuracy, and they have different weight. So if you get this kind of weight, this gives you a better accuracy, better representation. So if you want to get more, you have to understand, go into deep numerical analysis. I have not get a physical explanation. In fact, it is some places I have seen that physically it is difficult to explain, because you see this is not exactly that these and the intermediate. Like you get this new y, then you come to a average midpoint y, and you calculate a new f value. Like what is this? This is calculating a slope here. Then so you you calculate slope here. Then you come to this point. Now it is telling go to the plus q1 by 2. So you come to a y like here, intermediate point, and you evaluate the value here. Then again you another intermediate point, but you change the, you evaluated the value. So with respect to that, you evaluate again. So these 2 points are having maximum, and this point and this point, the endpoints are having least accuracy. So if you think of this thing between 2 points, they are influencing more, as if geometrically it is telling like that.
Sir, for then more accuracy, we can change the coefficient of K2, K3 to like 3 or 4. Can we do that?
Yes. So I'll try to give you some snapshots of already solved, but you can get a lot in other books also. So I'm not giving you any assignment at this point, but you practice the formulation, because ultimately we may go into, after puja we can try to go into this. Anyway, we may get one more class next week, I think. Okay. So the assignments you complete and send me by the given date. Euler's method I have explained. So based on that, that equation you solve, and I have given you a small write-up also for Euler's method. I think RK4 is also there. I have given you the type form because so that you can write 2-3 times and think over it. The main idea is that slope multiplied by the distance is giving you the new point. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.